Transcription is really a term that's used in linguistics for using some kind of writing system that tries to capture the sounds of the language as accurately as possible. And transcription really is trying to get at how things sound. So if we take an example from English, if we write the plural in English, we usually write it as S. But if we think about how it sounds, it doesn't always sound like S. So if we say cats, it sounds like S. But if we say dogs, it sounds like Z. So if we were transcribing, we would write cats with an S, and we write dogs with a Z. Okay, so that what we're doing there is something a little bit different. We're really trying to get the sounds. And this is important because people often want a pretty accurate reflection of how the language sounds, and they want to be able to get that from it being written down as well as from listening to it. It takes training to be able to do good transcription because you often have to learn to hear things that you're not used to hearing. So if you ask any English speaker if they hear a difference between, say, the P and pit and the P and spit, they're going to say they're just exactly the same. But if you put your hand in front of your mouth and you say pit, you're going to feel something on your hand that's called aspiration, but with spit, you're not going to feel that. So if you're transcribing it, you would want to write those differently, whereas when you're spelling it, you write them the same way. Okay? And this might be really important if you're most of the community that's going to be using the language are second language speakers, and they're learning a lot about how to pronounce the language from reading it. So that's what transcription is all about. So orthography is a little bit different from transcription. Both of them have a goal of having something that's written down where you can give it a pronunciation. But orthography is affected by a lot of other factors. It's not only the pronunciation. So if we take those words like cats and dogs again, where we wrote them both with an S on the end, even though one is pronounced S and one is pronounced Z, well, why would we do that? Well, we're writing the plural the same way all the time. So there's something really good about doing that too, of writing the same meaningful unit the same way all the time. Developing an orthography is really hard, and there's a lot of factors that you need to take into account. So you need to think about, are these first language speakers? You can do one thing with an orthography. Second language speakers, well, you probably need to represent a lot more how it actually sounds with second language speakers. Like I said before, people are learning a lot about how the language is from what's written down. But there's a lot of other kinds of things too. There's often social issues, there's often political issues. If people are literate in another language, then it might be a really good idea to make use of what they already know about the other language and just transfer it to the language that the orthography is being developed for, even though if you were transcribing, you might not do it in the same way. So it's a real challenge, and people can really enjoy it, but it's not an easy thing to do.